Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast with me, BoredGamer, and the lovely Zinnia. So, Zin, you're not allowed to say hello, Zin, anymore.
Why?
There has been a comment, and as you well know, I read all of the comments, and if a single person says, oh, this joke's getting a bit old now, we have to respect it. So, say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. You don't tell me how to do podcasts, or deal as we damn please. Right, 3 topics I want to talk about today, mainly, is Squadron 42. There was talk of it moving into beta work for a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is now shippable, final quality level stuff. I just want to talk about, is this indicative of Squadron 42 moving to the next phase or getting ready for release? The ship showdown, that begins today. We'll talk about that and the mixture of salt and memes and skill progression in Star Citizen. What? Skill progression in Star Citizen? This wasn't a thing, but now it is. But So, in the latest monthly report for Squadron 42's there was talk of, and there has been for a while now, that a lot of stuff's getting to final quality level. Stuff is being fully finalised. There's things that are now shippable. And there was a lot of talk about that in this one. And lots of work, or some work, is moving from alpha to beta, and has been for a while now. So with some of these terms being used, is that a indication that Cloud Imperium they're in the final stages of Squadron 42? And I know that the final stages, the last 10% could take a long time to polish and everything. Or is it just them talking about some of this works at the beta level now, or at the shippable level, but that doesn't mean they might not necessarily rework it? Is that just like they finished the work, but there's so much more to do? Or is that, well, actually, it's an indication that maybe we'll have Squadron 42 by the end of next year?
I mean, either or, honestly.
But which one's in? Either or, which one? Choose.
Oh, no, either or. Like, they're being pretty cagey about it.
Oh, yeah, they always are. That's the problem, isn't it? We've got these monthly reports, but they're very vague.
I think if anything, this is just an indication that their change from, because obviously Squadron 42 and Star Citizen were kind of like being developed in parallel.
Yeah.
And obviously recently they've had a change of, actually we're going to focus on getting stuff into Squadron 42 first, and then it will be shipped and like implemented into the persistent universe.
Yeah.
I think this might be evidence of it, like, helping push Squadron 42 further.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Squadron 42 has almost always had the lion's share of development sort of resources. However, Cloud Imperium, within the last couple of years, but have basically said, it might be long now, I've been covering this game for quite a while, that they were going to focus on getting features in Squadron 42 first, and then refined and iterated before bringing to the persistent universe. Because previous to that, they had teams sort of working on both. Well, lots of teams working on both, and they still are, but now the sort of refinement and feature process is, well, is it needed for Squadron, or can we use it in Squadron, bring it to Squadron, iterate and tweak it in the development branch for Squadron, then jumps into the persistent universe when it's ready. So you get sort of more fully fleshed out features, rather than lots of little minor ones, which is a better way of doing development, probably. It's really hard to judge Star Citizen beyond it's slow, it takes a long time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's taking longer to get to the persistent universe now because Squadron 42 is getting priority, but at least when it gets into the persistent universe, it should be in a more complete state.
Yes, but when they've got problems with sort of networking and desync and some of the core features, the core problems with the engine and the servers, I suppose it doesn't matter if we get amazing new features when they need to get that working, right? Hopefully 3.20 will solve a lot of that stuff. But yeah, so I talked about it recently, basically in a video with Squadron 42, using those terms and going, yes, they are pushing towards the next level. They are trying, a lot of this stuff is now getting into its final state. But we don't really know what that means. It could be the last 10% of the game. Even if they are in that beta stage or really close to being finished, they're going to polish it for ages. They're going to market it. It's a year or two away, at the very least, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Perfect. That's what I like.
I like it when you agree with me.
Well, I like it when you don't say I'm a dum-dum. So, something else I wanted to talk about is the Ship Showdown. Yearly contest that Cloud Imperium do starts today, and this is very community-orientated. It's basically in 2 phases, where they go, Zin, make a post about your favourite ship. And you could make a cake, you could make a drawing, you could do a video, you could do a screenshot, you could just talk about your favourite ship, and of the top 16 ships chosen from that, they then have the ship Showdown. They have this little tournament where every day you vote on a couple of ships clashing, which ship is better, and that slowly filters down into the top 4 and then the winner. The top 8 ships, though, there's like a free fly event with them. I believe there's going to be a sale with the top 16. It's always an excuse for a sale. And the top 4, they get skins and flares made for them for Fleet Week. So in the typically end of November, mid to end November. But there is also lots of memes and salt and lots of stuff going on. So this community stage is a bit weird, right? So a lot of people talking about their favourite ships. Cloud Imperium do a lot of voodoo magic here, because how do they actually determine the top 16 from that? Because there's going to be loads of variants talked about. There's going to be loads of stuff they don't see, loads of stuff they do see. How is it actually picked? The quality of the work. Couldn't I just get a load of bots and just constantly post out about something really trash like the Grey Cat PTV buggy? And someone's going to comment going, "That's the best vehicle in the game. That's the reason I backed." But I think it's unlikely you're backed because of the golf cart. Zin, what do you think of the community and the memes and salt this generates?
I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of like, oh, what's your favourite X, Y, or Z? Like, I generally don't have favourite things like that. I'll like a lot of different things for different reasons, and you can't really narrow it down.
Yeah, okay.
But I suppose this allows Cloud Imperium to see essentially like kind of what did we do right in a ship, and also lots of people like this ship, so as they do, you get skins and flair and whatnot for it, so that's always nice.
I think the Carrack's won twice now, non-consecutive years though. Last year was the Carrack the one, and the year before was the MPUV Cargo.
Yeah,
so that caused a lot of salt, interestingly, because a lot of people were like, this ship doesn't deserve to win.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed. Like, objectively, that ship is not the best ship in the game. But
it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And I'm of the same. It had no right winning. However, I like the fact that people can vote, assuming they are hopefully real votes and everything, and there's no exploiting going on. People can vote and affect an outcome, right? I think that's important. And I think that's what this competition's, this community ship showdown's all about. It's not a serious thing. It's nice if the ships that you have get in the top 4 because you get some free stuff. Yeah, it's a bit of a laugh. I quite like it. There's a lot of community-driven content going on. Starting from today, you'll see loads and loads. And hopefully, in the couple of weeks, we'll have a cool little sale with those top 16. Hopefully some stuff on offer. And we'll have the free fly sort of like a few days later, once they've narrowed it down to the top 8 ships. What ships do you think have a good chance of winning this year, Zin? So it's only ships that are flyable in-game, ships and vehicles. So do you think like the Fury's got a chance this year? Because obviously it's new.
Maybe. I think it will probably make like top 16. Maybe go a little bit further.
And what's your favourite as well?
I don't have a favourite!
You don't have a favourite?
I just said this before. Like, I hate this whole sort of what's your favourite ship.
But what's your favourite though, Zin? Okay. So mine's always going to be the Mercury Star Runner, at least until they bring out something that I like more. See, I have favourites. I have Star Citizen ships that are clearly my favourite. And I've learnt to love Crusader as a manufacturer as well. Do you have a favourite manufacturer? Out of curiosity? Ships within a group that you like the look of more?
I think I like the you've broken me now. The aesthetics of Crusader ships, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the way they look internally and externally.
So I'm interested to know, is it because it's one of the newer manufacturers that they refined their processes, and that's one of the reasons I like it more?
I'm wondering, like, maybe it is maybe because it's had influence of more futuristic. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but not necessarily super luxury. Like, Origin obviously does the futuristic luxury stuff.
Yeah, but even then, their stuff still looks a little bit dated.
Yeah, I suppose it kind of does.
Like, if you get what I mean, like, if you look at a sci-fi program from, like, 20, 30 years ago, their idea of a futuristic architecture it's a bit dated.
20,
basically.
30 years ago, did you say?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Stargate SG-1 era?
No. Well, the thing is, that's different, because that's not set in the future. That's technically set...
Oh, that's contemporary, yes. Yeah. Fair. That is a good point.
But I mean, like, if you look back at Star Trek Next Generation and look at their futuristic, it just seems a bit weird.
TNG. My favourite of the Star Treks. Yeah, fair.
But yeah, basically the vision of the future changes as we evolve our technologies.
Yeah, and it's weird that you see that in individual manufacturers in Star Citizen. Like, you get the aliens sort of tech vibe from things like Drake and Misk. That very much encapsulates that sort of industrial tech and the low tech feel.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I love Crusader. I think Crusader ships look amazing. Interested to know what other people think. Get involved with the ship Showdown if you so wish. It's Mercury Star Runner, though. Mercury Star Runner is my boy, and I love it so much. I think it looks beautiful, and it's going to have data running in the future, and so I'm looking forward to that. And there's lots of little hidey holes, and it's very tactile. There's little buttons, and it's got I think it's an awesome ship. Let's move on to something that was talked about in the monthly report, and that was skill progression. In the persistent universe, there's going to be skill progression, which originally they had said, look, there's going to be no XP in Star Citizen. You're not going to be having levels or stats. Your ability to do something is purely based on your ability as a player to know how those mechanics work and the gear that you have. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the idea of Star Citizen. They've now started talking about, and they've been talking about for a while, skill progression. Literally, you will have stats for certain things, and you can improve those stats by doing things. You can, as it says in the monthly report, build up your strength that will allow your player to carry heavier objects with fewer penalties, or perform takedowns quicker and quieter. And you do that by doing those tasks again and again and again. So carry heavy things, you'll be able to run with heavy things longer without it reducing your stamina so much. Do loads of takedowns, like a little stealth ninja assassin, you'll be doing them quicker and quicker and quicker. But the first few that you do will sort of like be you as a noob going, I don't know how I've not killed someone before, sort of thing. So what do you think about that? Do you think the idea of skill progression in that sense for the persistent universe is a good idea?
I think for certain things it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, I think things like carrying boxes, takedowns, stuff that essentially you, as a player, just press a button and it is done essentially automatically. Your ability to lift stuff in real life is not going to get translated into the game.
I see what you're saying. So these are technically, they are clicks of buttons. They are pick up a thing. They are take down a thing. I'm not doing some sort of crazy combo maneuver on my joypad to do a takedown.
You're not like get a mini game of you have to press the buttons in the right order at the right time or anything like that. It's literally just an automated thing.
And it's not hacking. It's not like I one button hack and I'm better at hacking, so I've done it lots. It's not that either, because that's going to be a skill-based thing that you're actually going to have to do yourself. Okay, no, I like that take on that. I'm just worried that what's the upper limit of how good you can be at something? And is that then an issue with players that don't play much? They're weekend warriors against people that can sprint twice as fast as them while carrying objects. Do you see what I mean? Do you see that there might be inconsistencies and problems there?
I'm assuming there will be upper limits.
Let's hope
because there is IRL. So
yeah, and I hope those ceilings aren't too high for that sort of thing. Like nice little small perks. I think would be quite cool and flavorful. It makes you feel like more connected with your character. The other thing is, when your character dies, and you respawn, so not a permadeath, but when you die and you go to your clone.
Yeah.
Is your clone as fit as you were?
I wouldn't say so. I would essentially say that you should go back to the basics.
I think that's a good idea as well, and I think that will give you more reason to get rescued and reason to not want to die. Also makes it a lot fairer in my eyes, because people will keep on sort of restarting, and there's hopefully not going to be too much you can sort of improve your character on.
Because wasn't there a similar thing in Eve as well? Like there were certain things that you could do and have it carry over to your clone, but other things were just completely lost when you died. Like implants and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you'd lose in Eve, you'd lose the implants on the dude that you were in. Yeah, so you'd have clones you jump to sort of like just that had implants in to learn skills quicker and things like that, and have your main body or whatever. And you could buy insurance to have more of your skill points covered when you died. So and you could lose huge amounts of skill points, like years and years worth of work technically from dying in Eve, which is an interesting thing. I do hope that they take lots of bits from Eve that have worked and not worked and look at them for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, do you feel this goes against what Cloud Imperium had originally said about Star Citizen not having stuff like this. They originally said, look, it's not going to have this sort of progression and stats and skills and stuff, but it looks like they are doing it with some stuff.
I would say that, yeah, it is kind of against what they said they were going to do. But again, we don't really know how they're implementing it and what's going to be affected. And it may just be minor things that don't have that much of an overall effect on the game.
Yeah, or it might be stuff that they literally go, this will make the game better or more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Cloud Imperium very much have said, look, the only constant in game development is change, and they are iterating on things, they are trying things, they're going to evolve things. Stuff that we expected from the original Kickstarter is hugely changed today, and they are expanding out the game. Now, these things, if they are bad ideas, if they do not work, they will change them. They will listen to the community, they will iterate on them, they will try and improve them, and if things are genuinely bad ideas or really don't work, they will go, okay, let's move away from that, or let's do it in a different way. But some of this stuff might be significantly better and really add to the experience. And I just think the skill progression one was an interesting one. Something else I briefly wanted to talk about, the Rastar updates. So we saw in a recent Inside Star Citizen that there were updates to Rastar tool allowing them to redo the bunkers, the underground facilities. But they only really showed the externals of the underground facilities being tweaked. I thought there's supposed to be internal updates as well as the external ones. So do you think there is going to be internal ones, or Cloud Imperium just meant, we're just going to make the exteriors better, or is there just not enough information to know?
I think that maybe it's just the externals that they've got working at the moment.
Oh, that'd be such a shame.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would get a nice refresh of the internals.
Because, although the externals play a part, once you're inside, that to me is where the immersion breaks.
Yeah.
The fact that the outside looks the same, I can kind of get over, because it generally is just like a lid that goes on top.
Yeah, a doorway.
It's the internals. You walk in, and the only difference that I've ever noticed, I think, is where the elevator spawns.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes it'll take you to the top floor, sometimes it'll take you to the middle floor. But that's about it. The inside is exactly the same every single time. And to a certain point, you can kind of go, yeah, okay, it's probably the same because it's made by the same manufacturer, it's on the same planet or something like that. But it's everything's the same. Even the locations of the random stuff that's sitting around.
Yeah, I think internally there's 4 variants total, and they're very similar even within those variants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a shame. I'm hoping that you're incorrect, and they are going to be... Well, so you said they've only got the externals working at the moment. That could mean a lot of things. I'm hoping that they get the internal updates for those bunkers done for 3.20 or the patch afterwards. I'd like to see some variety there and some more interest. And we do obviously know that they're building the new retrieval consignment missions and things like that you'll make use of bunkers. So assumedly they've got to update them for those.
Maybe they did have internal updates and they just wanted to keep it as a surprise.
Yeah, or show it in a different week, because it is the road to CitizenCon at the moment.
Yeah.
And that means that they show us less development information or not stuff that's not as good. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's they're keeping stuff back, which really annoys me. I always want more, not less. I'm always up for gameplay demos and stuff. I always feel that there's a load of stuff they could show us at CitizenCon, even if they're showing some of that stuff now. It just, yeah, it sort of annoys me. I'm a hungry content creator, so, I mean, you do not have to agree with me necessarily. You might be actually, I prefer it to be concentrated in CitizenCon, or actually I enjoy these updates they're giving still, which I do enjoy them as well. I think there could always be more. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about today, to be honest. I did want to say something real quick about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It was 2016 title. So I've been recently replaying some games that I hadn't played for a while. You're playing Shadows of Doubt, aren't you, at the moment?
Yes, I am.
So for people that don't know, that's a little procedural detective game. Really cool premise, where you've got to discover murderers and work out who they are and why they did the murder and the murder weapon and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You're enjoying that, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I've recently played through Prey and some other games, and I've just replayed Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I say replayed, I never finished it. I only played the first 2 hours originally. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was originally referred to as a Star Citizen and Squadron 42 killer, and I think that most people won't even remember what it is. I, however, played it. It's the futuristic Call of Duty where you're in space, and there are spaceships, and there are spacey fights, and it's a FPS. It really is Baba's first Squadron 42. It is doing all the stuff that Squadron 42 wants to do, but in a quick, easy way. Like, oh, let's have loads of pre-baked cutscenes and stuff like that. Let's have this cutscene that just it breaks your immersion, but it doesn't matter. Let's have loads of loading screens everywhere. Let's and all this stuff sort of broken up, and it's just sort of like it's a really early like white box or grey box version of what Squadron 42 sort of wants to be, because it's got all those things in there. It's got you flying around the spaceship. It's got you flying in little fighters. It's got you running around your capital ship and seeing what people are talking about in quite small areas. But if you are wanting something to fill that sort of void that Squadron 42 wants to do, but significantly better Squadron 42 wants to do it, like several magnitudes better, then check out Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It is genuinely quite a good laugh. It's not too long. It's like, I think it's like 8 hours, maybe 10 hours campaign. You could probably get more out of it if you do the extra missions. But I just liked it because it had fighters and vehicles and running around, and you're in your capital ship, and it has your briefings and debriefings, and it's just a load of stuff that Squadron 42 wants to do, but just done it on the very surface, very not very deep level. Superficial, shallow. Yes, thank you. You know Word better than me do. So yeah, check it out. And also, when I started it, you walk through a door and it goes, "Welcome to Fleet Week." Is that one of the first thing it says? And there's all the ships flying around at the buildings. I was like, this would be really cool if Star Citizen did this with Star Citizen tech, because it was literally all the ships for Fleet Week flying past all the buildings and just hovering there. I was like, that's cool. That's a really cool way of doing it. But yeah, check it out if you haven't. I suspect it's incredibly cheap at the moment. I wouldn't play it multiplayer. Call of Duty. The zombie stuff's cool, I suppose. Anyway, that's it. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin. Are they not sick of that joke as well?
Well, I don't know. They only complained about the hellos. Maybe they immediately tune out when they say hellos in, so they haven't got to the goodbyes in bit. If people got suggestions and feedback, I'm always happy to hear it. Zin and I will be as quirky or whatever as we want to be. But so don't criticise us on that. Go, oh, your voice is... I wish you could change your voice. Or something like that. That's not constructive. That's just like, well, I'm sorry, I can't change my voice. Like, probably I could do Sayori.
Please don't.
Okay, yeah, apologies. I have lots of voices that I do when Zin and I play games, which you might see if you use the join button or became a Patreon. And if you do either of those things, you might be able to see some of our exclusive videos, which will have me doing silly voices in regularly. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Love to hear your thoughts on the Ship Showdown, your favourite ship manufacturer. Who do you think is going to be in the top 4? Squadron 42, beta / shippable stuff. What do you think that actually means? Is it just Cloud Imperium going, yes, we've got some bits of that level, but that's not really indicative of anything being done? It could be many years before it's done. And what do you think of skill progression in game? Do you think smart or bad or good, or wait and see? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Are we alone in the universe? The truth is out there, but what if aliens visit Earth, but they're like monsters, and all they do is look through your internet history, judging you, laughing at you with all their alien friends, watching your every move live, and then they send like 1 million ads to you about alien products that you don't want, like those shoes and socks that have a gap between your big toes. No one needs that. But what you do need is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, which helps you prevent that happening from the more real threat of humans doing the same. It encrypts your internet connection, hides your IP address and location, it has an inbuilt ad blocker, and also helps you gain access to region-based content. You should go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer and get a big old discount. You can also click the links below. Every month, we have a ship giveaway. For August, it's for a Crusader Mercury Star Runner with lifetime insurance. This medium-sized, well-armed cargo and data hauler is great for trying out a huge range of what Star Citizen has to offer, a perfect mission runner ship. To be in for a chance of winning, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. There are some amazing people that help support the channel by clicking on the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon with the links below. That helps keep the channel going and producing daily content. Please consider joining their ranks, but commenting, liking, subscribing, that all massively helps too. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the verse.